Hello everybody, this is Jeremy in the Dot. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at ML Drums Grit. This is the newest drum sample library from ML Drums and ML Sound Lab, and this thing is absolutely amazing. So this is sampled from the effects chain and the drum library from the Finvox B Studio, and this is using a really nice vintage workflow. As you see just the pictures of it, it is an absolutely fantastic room. Amazing mics. Look at this, just the console, the gear, everything looks fantastic, right? And this is actually modeling just a rack tom, kick drum, 2 floor toms, 3 crashes, a snare, a hi-hat, and a china. And as you see, we have the Gretsch Bell Brass 14-inch by 6.5-inch snare, the Pearl Masterworks 22-inch kit, the Gretsch Drop G 1979 through 1981, 13, 16, and 18-inch tom, a collection of really nice Zildjian cymbals, and a ultra hammered 19-inch china. Going back to the session, as you see, if we grab the Grit Essentials, do unprocessed, and we listen to the original unprocessed sound, honestly, that's with nothing, right? Going to the mixer, no processing is on whatsoever. My channel has nothing on it. This sounds amazing. Now, you don't have the same options as you did with the Lux kit, where you have a bunch of different mics to choose from, and you don't have the Essentials, where you have the same option. But something about just everything here sounds so perfect. And if you grab some of the presets, right? It just sounds so lively. Right, we'll go for the Miko's mix. Very balanced mix. I mean, listen to that kick drum. Unprocessed, and then processed. It sounds completely different than the Lux kit, which was a really nice kit, but it was a pretty big library and it had a very old school sound. Right? And just listening to the drums on here, and we add a couple of toms. It sounds pretty good, right? If we go for my kit, which is just a custom amalgamation of everything else, it sounds fantastic. Let's listen to that in the mix. We'll bypass the stemmed out drums. Cool, now that's unmixed. Let's mute that and bring out the stemmed mix that we have inside of Nuendo. If you look here, I've activated all of my outputs except for the reverb, and let's listen to the drums. Now, obviously, I'm exaggerating some of the processing so you can really hear it. But if you just look at the signal flow that I have, at the end of the kick chain, we have the clipper. We have the Red Rock Sounds Punch plugin, which is a 1073 with a 33609, just the compressor section. So it's essentially a channel strip. We have a Kirchhoff EQ, and then we're starting it all off with the Transgressor from Bow's Digital Labs. This is my favorite drum plugin. For the snare, we're just using Kirchhoff EQ and a clipper to add some grit to it. And then for the toms, we're using transgressor, Kirchhoff EQ, and then once again, the Black Salt Audio Clipper. This is actually going to give us some pretty audible distortion on the toms, but if we bypass it, it doesn't have the same impact. And that subtle distortion will not be heard at all when in the mix. Hi-hat, we're actually not using the hi-hat. The rides, I'm just rolling off some top end. And then for the overheads, I'm using a little bit of EQ. I actually think I'm going to dip down a touch around right here. And then for the room, I'm using the Pro R2 from FabFilter and the Kirchhoff EQ to get rid of resonances. And this is the only instance where I'm actually utilizing the processing inside of ML drums, except for with the snare, because I love the saturation and the toms. But I have a ton of saturation, a ton of compression in the room. And the reason for that is because I don't know what Miko is doing with his saturation algorithm here, but it sounds absolutely amazing. I would buy a plugin of just this. The compressor sounds super aggressive, and it is perfect paired with the reverb. Bypassing the signal chain. And then listening to everything in solo, you can see how it sounds. Cool. And then one more time, the raw drums. And then in the mix with the mix drums. And there you have it. This thing sounds so impactful, so powerful, and it cuts through so well. I genuinely have made this my signal flow. I use Superior Drummer to make the drum loop library, and then I have the MIDI come out and trigger ML drums. And I actually turn off humanization because the libraries that I'm using for the loops, I tend to edit them, and even if I don't, they already have microdynamics and micro timing, so it doesn't really matter. I don't need the extra humanization. Anyway, that's it. There's really not much to tell. You heard it. They sound fantastic. And keep in mind that ML Drums comes with a free drum loop sample library when you get it. So if you get the free version, you get the extra toms, you get the extra cymbals and stuff like that. You can just add grit onto it for, I think, 30 bucks right now, normally 40 bucks. And you will literally be able to have a really amazing metal drum sound that's flexible enough to even sound good with rock or even some country music. Anyway, this is Jerry Mateo with the DAW. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.